chocolate. It's a perfect combination of bitter, sweet, creamy, and rich. For many, chocolate isn't just a treat, it's a sensory escape. I'm Elena Besser. I'm a professional chef, recipe developer, content creator, and chocoholic. So I'm heading out to meet two women innovating the chocolate industry and turning an everyday luxury into something truly extraordinary.
Sometimes when I go into the farm with my clippers and I talk to the trees, I notice every detail in the tree, the flower, the color.
Yadira Vázquez is the owner of Hacienda Chocolat. This cacao farm sits next to the El Yunque rainforest in Puerto Rico. What a beautiful place you've got here. I met Yadira to learn how an ancient tropical fruit from the Amazon blossomed into a $100 billion global industry.
There's so many aromas and flavors that you can experience in a chocolate bar.
People have been eating cacao for over 5,000 years. Turning this fruit into chocolate was perfected by the Mayans and Aztecs. They're credited with the process of refining cacao into a frothy chocolate beverage. After the brutal Spanish conquest of the Aztecs, the drink was brought to Europe. Due to soaring demand across the continent, by the late 1800s, chocolate production had moved to Africa, where labor was essentially free. Today, 60% of the world's chocolate is grown on the Ivory Coast. Initially, the Spanish also tried to establish plantations in Puerto Rico, but they failed due to hurricanes. For centuries, leftover cacao species flourished on the island in the wild. In the late 1980s, amid fears of a global cacao shortage, the U.S. Department of Agriculture began researching these trees to find a variety that could produce more pods.
The results came out that at least 10 were very good for Puerto Rico and our climate. And they were chosen for their productivity, resistance to disease, and flavor.
At that time, Yadira was in medical school studying radiology. She opened her own clinic while raising 3 young children. But a breast cancer diagnosis in 2005 changed everything.
As a doctor, I diagnosed myself. So it's very scary because you're a doctor, you know exactly what it means.
Yadira made several life changes to focus on recovery. She bought a few acres of undeveloped farmland to meditate, relax, and reconnect with her love of gardening.
I think that once you connect to nature, everything in your emotional body starts to heal.
She began growing various tropical fruit trees, including cacao.
And I started experimenting. I thought, I have pots, now I have to make chocolate.
In 2014, Yadira won a grant from the USDA and Chocolate Cortez, one of the Caribbean's biggest producers, to bring cacao farming back to Puerto Rico. She purchased more trees and was able to expand her operation.
Well, initially when I got this farm, it was a forest. So we have trees here that are probably more than 50, 60 years old. Wow. Our trails go around those trees.
Within 3 years, her first crop was ready, but tragedy struck.
Swaths of Puerto Rico underwater, roofs ripped off, trees toppled.
We've had other hurricanes in Puerto Rico, but Maria was unreal. I still look at the pictures today, and it's been, 60 years, and I feel like crying.
It took 2 years to rebuild the farm.
Actually, we do have trees that fell, and new branches came up, and we just left them there because they're so productive. So that's one thing I love about the tree. It's very resilient, it's very strong. I think I get very identified with a tree because I feel like we're the same.
Yeah, you're strong and you're resilient. A decade after her farm journey began, Yadira was able to start selling raw beans. Within a year, a special batch was entered into the Cocoa of Excellence Awards in Italy.
I had sold those beans to Cortez. So they call me and they go like, you should send these beans, they're really good.
Those beans won Yadira the Silver Award in 2021. Inspired to do more, she built her own facility to process chocolate.
So I might have the same tree in a different farm, and the soil and the climate is going to be different, and there's no way you're going to taste the similar thing any other place.
Her dedication has led to 2 more Cocoa of Excellence Awards for beans and bars.
When you see your name, Hacienda Chocolate Puerto Rico, among excellent other chocolate makers from all around the world, my heart just bursts.
Yadira is passionate about sharing her love for cacao. Today, she makes most of her money from tourism.
What do you hope the tourists walk away from coming to the farm with?
Well, they learn what real chocolate is and where it comes from. When they go like, we never thought chocolate was so difficult.
It helps them savor it more.
The farm tour at Hacienda Chocolat is a stunning hike featuring some of Yadira's favorite plants, like ginger and vanilla. But I was here for the cacao, which is incredibly difficult to grow. These trees only thrive near the equator, and they need lots of water.
We have multiple showers during the day, so we don't need any irrigation for the trees. They get exactly what they need.
The cacao trees here are from different parts of South and Central America, all with different flavors and aromas.
When we're eating the chocolate bar itself, do you use a mixture of the pods? How does it work?
It's a blend of all the different varieties we have here.
The cacao fruit starts as a small flower that can only be pollinated by a midge fly.
It opens in the morning. The midge has 24 hours to do his work. And then if it does get pollinized, you can see, I have to come closer here. You're going to see a very tiny cacao back here. See?
Oh my
This
gosh.
So
That's crazy.
Baby cacao.
I am shook by how tiny and cute that is.
Cacao pods must be harvested by hand, so Yadira put me to work.
This is beautiful. So we've picked about a dozen pods. How much chocolate does this make?
Well, we almost have 1 pound of chocolate. And 1 pound of chocolate should give us at least 10 to 12 chocolate bars.
I have a whole new appreciation for chocolate. I already really appreciated chocolate. I just want to make that clear. But having this context, I appreciate it even more.
Time to taste the literal fruits of my labor.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. It's so slimy.
You're just going to suck. You're not going to bite or
I just suck
swallow.
on it?
Yes.
It tastes kind of like a mango.
Exactly. It tastes more like tropical fruits. It can be mango. Some people say pineapple.
After they're picked, the pods head to the processing facility. The first step is fermentation. Wooden boxes are lined with banana leaves, then filled with the beans, which ferment for up to 10 days.
Yes.
That's insane. The smell is almost like kombucha.
They're air dried for about a week.
So tell me why you've decided to dry them in the sun rather than using machinery.
It preserves much more of the flavor.
Most chocolate farmers sell their beans after fermentation. Of the roughly 6 million cacao farms around the world, only a couple hundred make their own bars commercially. That's because processing the dried beans requires expensive equipment. A special oven roasts the beans to bring out a nutty, rich flavor.
We do low roast, and we want to preserve the floral and the fruity notes.
The beans are cracked into cacao nibs, then crushed and ground into a creamy paste known as chocolate liquor. Depending on the type of chocolate being made, cocoa butter, sugar, and milk can be added. The mixture is cooled into large blocks and aged for up to 2 weeks. To make a bar, the block is melted back into syrup.
And the tempering process is what gives it that sexy sheen, right?
Exactly, and the snappiness.
The chocolate is then poured into plastic molds and refrigerated to harden. After all that work, I was ready to finally taste Yadira's award-winning chocolate. Enjoying chocolate in different ways is an essential part of the tour at Hacienda Chocolat. Yadira starts with a sip of history. First, cacao nibs are added to a warm metate, a traditional device used by the Mayans and Aztecs to make hot chocolate.
You're using the force, your weight on the stones.
Do you want me to get in there and help out?
Yeah.
It almost feels like I'm grinding rocks. Except the aroma makes it all worth it.
Yes.
Yadira adds peppers just like the Mayans did. After 20 minutes of grinding, the cacao starts to lighten. I thought I was nearly done.
How much longer should I be doing that?
Like 2 more hours.
Okay, great. Let's go.
I'm just kidding.
Yadira finishes the drink by mixing the cacao paste with water. To make it foamy, she uses a molinillo, a Mexican wooden whisk.
The foam was said to be the spirit of the cacao.
Okay.
So, and it would connect the drinker of the chocolate with the gods.
Cheers. Wow, this is unlike any hot chocolate I've ever had. It's definitely leaning more in the savory side of things, but I'm kind of obsessed.
Time to taste the chocolate bars with a boozy twist. Not only is Yadira a chocolate expert, but she's deeply passionate about spirits. Tourgoers can enjoy a chocolate pairing with a variety of spirits, including a Puerto Rican favorite, locally crafted rum.
The rum and the chocolate will give us a greater sensory experience than the separate ingredients. We try to choose like things that are grown in the same place.
What grows together goes together.
So in this case, the sugar cane is a tropical plant and the cacao tree is a tropical tree.
Yadira pairs a 3-year-old añejo with her award-winning white chocolate bar, topped with cacao and coffee nibs.
White chocolate is pretty controversial. What makes yours special?
This is a white chocolate where the powder milk has gone to the oven and it's caramelized. Just place the chocolate in your mouth and just let it melt a little bit. You have to bite the nibs. All Puerto Rican.
It's a dangerous combination, my friend.
The second rum, aged in a bourbon barrel, is paired with 70% dark chocolate.
I feel like it's more fruity and it's a little bit more mellowed out. I'd say this is the perfect pair for someone that thinks they don't love dark chocolate.
Exactly.
Trying these together makes it more approachable.
Like nothing I've ever tasted before, Yadira's chocolate is a love letter to the El Yunque rainforest. Every bite has a complex blend of floral and fruity notes imparted from the surrounding flora. Through her hands-on process, Yadira celebrates the land on which this cacao is grown.
What do you love the most about this?
Here in the forest and in the plantation, I feel like it's my real home. The scientific name is Theobroma cacao. That means Theo is God and Broma is food, so it's the food of the gods. I think it is a gift of nature to the humans. And there's so many things we can do with chocolate and culinary and recipes, so it is the food of the gods.
Yes, cheers to that, and cheers to chocolate.
Next up, I head back to New York to meet a pastry chef turning chocolate into edible art. Seeing fresh cacao turned into chocolate only whet my appetite for more. I couldn't wait to get back to New York to meet one chef designing show-stopping confections.
I'm drawn to the incredible versatility and endless possibilities of chocolate. I get to express my love for flavors, colors, design, and artwork.
Susanna Yoon is the founder and head chef of Stick With Me Sweets in New York City.
How are you? It's so nice to meet you.
She's best known for her handmade bonbons. They're truly a treat for all the senses. With over 20 gorgeous and uniquely flavored varieties to choose from, I couldn't wait to see what sweet surprises Susanna had in store.
I am shook by how stunning these are. Pieces of jewelry that you get to eat.
Yes. So I have a few I have in mind for you to try. The matcha, black sesame, calamansi meringue pie.
I almost don't want to eat it. It's so pretty.
If you take a bite, you can look inside and see the layers.
It looks like a tiny key lime pie. And now, the moment we've been waiting for.
It's our black sesame with mango and passion fruit jam on top.
So pretty.
This flavor was inspired by roasting black sesame seeds with my grandmother.
Susanna, the daughter of Korean immigrants, was born and raised in Seattle. With 2 working parents, her grandmother was an integral part of her upbringing and one of her biggest inspirations when it comes to food.
I remember my grandmother's favorite line was, "Have you eaten yet?" I would just watch her hands move so gracefully as she prepared each dish. And the aromas in the house were always so captivating.
What were some of your grandma's philosophies when it came to food?
It's about variety. Her table was set up with so many different little dishes.
Would you say that your grandmother's love language was gift giving?
Absolutely. It was cooking, feeding people, and giving people her delicious treats that she would make.
And that's what you do here, which is so cool.
Yes.
How the heck did you end up in New York?
The day my grandmother passed away, I felt like I had lost a part of my heart. And I was actually not in the culinary world, but it was in that moment I vowed to my grandmother that I wanted to be more like her and bring joy to people through food.
Did you always have a passion for dessert?
Yes, I ate chocolates every day. I don't even know why my dad allowed me to do that.
Susanna's passion for sweets took her to the pastry program at the International Culinary Center in New York City. After graduation, she landed a coveted job at the renowned French eatery, Café Beloud. What was it like breaking into the industry as a woman who pivoted her career?
It was marked by a lot of fear and some excitement. I was pretty quiet and reserved, but after working just like a few days in the kitchen, I quickly realized the need to be more vocal and assertive.
Susanna then honed her skills at Thomas Keller's Michelin-starred Per Se, developing an eye for precision.
Talking or even smiling was not really encouraged. The kitchen was really quiet. Everyone was super focused.
In those high-intensity environments, how did you keep your head held high?
I didn't. Sorry, I didn't keep my head was always down. I was always working. It was just really mentally and physically demanding.
But working 15-hour days didn't deter Susanna. Her ultimate goal was to be her own boss. In 2014, she opened her own shop, a cozy Nolita store called Stick With Me. Her mission, to provide memorable gifting moments with elegant bites just like her grandmother.
I feel like beautiful and delicious chocolate should be available for all of life's special moments.
Originally, all production and sales were run out of the Nolita store. But during the pandemic, when many food businesses faced closure, Susanna's online sales spiked. Susanna opened her Brooklyn factory 2 years ago. When she started out, Susanna sold about 15,000 boxes a year. Today, they're on track to sell 70,000. Some people may not know that you have a second location.
Yes.
And it's in Korea.
Yes. I really wanted to reconnect with my heritage and be able to share a new chocolate experience from New York City with Seoul, Korea.
These views are crazy.
At her factory, Susanna believes that to do their best work, her staff needs to feel their best.
I wanted a positive space for my staff. If you want to brainstorm some fun and creative ideas, you need to feel good every day.
You do. Even the industrial kitchen is laid out with shorter frames in mind.
I basically built the kitchen so that I could reach everything. It's more built for female chefs.
Susanna's staff, which happens to be all women, appreciates the environment fostered by their boss.
She always wants us to have a good work-life balance. I would never really want to ask off for any other places that I've worked at before. Right? Yeah, but I think definitely whatever you value is super important for her.
Susanna also provides regular training sessions so employees can keep enhancing their skills. No longer confined by someone else's rules, Susanna can let her imagination run wild.
The lighter color, milk chocolate, darker color, dark chocolate, and white chocolate. Those were the three colors I got to use when I was working at Per Se. And so when I left, I wanted to make it more colorful, more vibrant.
That vibrancy is exactly why her bonbons have received plenty of accolades. Even Oprah is a fan. Like any artist, Susanna and her team follow a painstaking process to create each bonbon. And it starts with the finest ingredients from around the world.
We have to make a lot of orders from different places and different farms to get the perfect ingredients that we need.
Vanilla beans sourced from Tahiti give confections a more floral flavor. Matcha is hand-carried from Japan, and buttery Elliott pecans are shipped right from Georgia. it can take up to 2 days to make a batch of these intricate bonbons.
I know this is cheesy, but I feel like a kid in a candy store, Susanna.
I couldn't wait to put my bonbon making skills to the test with one of the shop's best sellers.
So we're gonna make the pecan pie bonbon.
Each bonbon is decorated by hand. Susanna starts the process by splatter painting the mold.
So we're gonna make it rain.
Okay, let's make it
All
rain.
right. So I like to put my arms up a little bit higher and then just let it gently drop.
Next, it's onto the tempering machine, where Susanna creates the silky smooth chocolate shell.
So the goal is to make sure that the chocolate's inside the mold and not outside the mold.
Okay.
We're gonna turn on the vibrating table. It's gonna help us get all the air bubbles out. When you see it looks good, it's time to create the perfect shell. Take a peek, make sure it's perfect, keep it level.
Okay, I'm really nervous, but we're gonna crush it.
And then stop. All right.
Hold on.
You got it, and the sides.
Guys, this is crazy.
Sensitive to temperature, humidity, and time, chocolate can be very difficult to work with. Many professional chefs, myself included, struggle to master this sweet. Susanna's chocolatiers work with her for months to learn each step in the bonbon making process. After the shells cool and set, it's time to pipe the layers of flavor. First up, sea salt caramel.
When you pipe, it's almost like a clock.
Let's see if I can handle this. I can handle it.
You can do it.
Thank you.
All right, next step is filling it with our golden candy pecans. All right, we made a pecan praline, and now we're gonna pipe this in.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Wish me luck. Oh man. What would you say the most important step in the process is?
Every step is the most important step in the process.
Speaking like a Michelin pastry chef over here, my friend.
The filled bonbons refrigerate to set. And then it's time for the final step. A double seal of chocolate creates a perfect uniform shell.
Wow.
After a final rest in the climate-controlled chocolate room, it's time for the big reveal.
Okay, I'm so excited.
Oh, there's one stubborn one.
There she is. They turned out gorgeous.
Yes.
These are so beautiful. How about we taste all of our hard work?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow. It's just so texturally satisfying.
After a hard day of making and tasting chocolates, I joined Susanna's team for what they call family meal. The ladies gather once a week to celebrate their successes and relish in their fierce female workforce.
I think there's a lot of kindness here. We all want to hear what the other ones have to say.
What's the best piece of advice that Chef Susanna's given you?
Really focus on like your mental health so that when you come to work, you can be the best that you can be.
I could never show up to a dinner party empty-handed, so I put my own spin on one of Susanna's beloved bonbons, the black sesame, inspired by her grandmother.
So good.
You like it?
So good. Yum.
Creating special memories with food is definitely something I'm all about. It's that legacy of giving that continues to inspire Susanna.
What do you think your grandmother would think of this place?
She was always proud of me. I would bring her a cup of water and she would say, "Oh my God, this water that you brought for me tastes like honey." And so I know that she would be looking down and feeling really happy about what I built here.
I think we can all agree that chocolate is good for the soul. My sweet tooth is certainly satisfied, but it's these ladies behind the bean who are making a lasting impression and taking chocolate to new heights. From Puerto Rico to right here in New York City, the women of the chocolate world know what it means to break the mold.